Before 1820 settlers arrived, there had been numerous sightings of lions in the Eastern Cape. However, by the 1850s, many were exterminated from the area. Environmentalists say the reintroduction of this magnificent large cat into the province has been an auspicious success. A collaboration between wildlife conservation charity, the Born Free Foundation, and Shamari Game Reserve has provided a permanent home for rescued African big cats. Many of them have been kept as household pets or rescued from circuses and zoos around the world.
We rescue lions and leopards from situations of captivity from all over the world. The last rescue we embarked on is actually from the lions of lockdown, which we nicknamed them because they were waiting for us in France for 2 years before we could bring them here to our sanctuaries, which we nicknamed their forever home. So these are 4 lions that were surrendered by a circus in France after an unfortunate incident. And they were around between 13 and 15 years old. We can never be quite sure of their ages, and they've lived together for their entire lives. And we did the utmost that we can do to bring them back to a place where they can have a retirement really, and spend their lives in their natural habitat where they should have been for the rest of their lives.
The conservation sector has also been hard hit by the drought. The past 7 years have been tough for the wildlife in some game reserves.
Amongst our team, the scarcity and lack of water is one of our biggest challenges, if not the biggest challenge, because without water, we can do nothing. There is no alternative source of water. And I'll give you some interesting information. I mean, the water that ends up in Patterson, which is 10 kilometers from where we're standing right now, that doesn't come from boils. That water comes from Lesotho. It rains in Lesotho, it goes into the Orange River, it goes into the Gerib Dam. It's the Orange Fish River tunnel into the Fish River, it goes down the Fish River, it goes into a canal system, and it ends up in the citrus area of Addo and Kirkwood, and then it gets piped to Patterson. So the water in Patterson comes from Lesotho. So South Africa is a really scarce area for water.
The wildlife ecosystem provides exclusive tranquility and undisturbed beauty. The reintroduction of the big cats is also seen as crucial for the ecosystem.
The program started with the introduction of a lot of antelope species and prey species, acquisition of land at various stages. I mean, we started with 3,000 hectares, and then we went to 5, and eventually to 10, 15, eventually ended up with 25,000 hectares. And the whole process was a very well structured sort of management plan that our wildlife team laid out for us. So we had to get the prey species in, we had to get the major herbivores in, elephant, black rhino, white rhino, etc., and then eventually the release of the prime predators and the prime cats in the early 2000s.
It's relatively easy establishing the reserve. The tricky part is keeping it going in a sustainable fashion with good, solid ecological principles over a long time. Because at the end of the day, if you take Kruger National Park, it's 2 million hectares, but it's still an island. Okay, you take Shamari, it's a huge block of 25,000, but at the end of the day, it's a smaller island, which means it's got to be more intensely managed to a degree. Okay, populations do grow. Predators have an effect. It'll be perfect if the predators could keep the populations the way we wanted them, but then you've got preferred prey species, avoided prey species. So the only way we can keep on top of this is by monitoring very, very closely, doing our annual game censuses, and then adapting our policies as we go.
According to a recent study, nature reserves make up 44.5% of the total protected area estate, thus accounting for 4.1% of mainland South Africa. For SABC News, I am Lwando Nomoyi in the Eastern Cape.